Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And this entire week I'm doing Father's Day films. And today I'm doing the 1997 movie, Father's Day. Here is your trivia question for today. Jack Lawrence hates one particular profession. Which one is it? The answer will be at the end of this episode. So in this film, we have a lovely family consisting of Bob and Colette and their son Scott. For the most part, everything seems to go really well for them as a family as the years go by. That is, at least until Scott turns 16. It's at this age that he gets into a big fight with his parents and decides to run off with his girlfriend to go and follow the band Sugar Ray. Colette is very worried about what's going to happen to Scott, and Bob doesn't seem to be doing much about it as he just believes that Scott will just come back on his own. So this causes Colette to reach out to her ex-boyfriend, Jack Lawrence. The reason for this is not only is she hoping that Jack will help her find her son, but because Jack apparently might actually be Scott's real father. Now, Colette doesn't stop there. She also reaches out to her ex-boyfriend, Dale Putley, because he too might also be Scott's actual father. And hopefully, he can also try to track him down as well. So it doesn't take long for both Jack and Dale to discover each other and the fact that they're both trying to find Scott. They both decide to actually work together on this. Now, Bob, who might also still be the father of Scott, finally decides to go out looking himself as well. And while all of this is going on, Scott seems to be dealing with his own issues. Number one, his girlfriend may not be that interested in him and might actually just be trying to get with the band. And number two, he's now stolen some money from some drug dealers, and they're also trying to hunt him down. So, will Jack and Dale ever find Scott and be able to safely bring him back home? This movie was directed by Ivan Reitman. This movie is a remake of sorts of a French film called Les Compères. Billy Crystal and Robin Williams were already really good friends before this film due to their work on HBO's Comic Relief along with Whoopi Goldberg. Charlie Hoffheimer, who played Scott, almost quit the production and had to be talked into staying by director Ivan Reitman. Apparently, the reason he almost left was due to Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. During the sequence where they're taking his shoes off, they would not stop tickling his feet. Now, aside from the main cast, there are quite a few other actors that you may or may not have recognized in this film, including Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Charles Rocket, Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray and, of course, the band itself, Jared Harris, Jason Reitman, Catherine Reitman, Dana Gould, and even Mel Gibson made a cameo appearance as a tattoo and piercing artist that was at the concert. I also just want to mention separately the characters of Colette and Bob. When it comes to Natasha Kinski's character of Colette, I just have to say this. I absolutely hate her character. Just the simple fact that she managed to torture these two individuals into finding her child, when from the beginning, she apparently knew that the father, Bob, was in fact the real father. And then, of course, there's Bob, who is played by Bruce Greenwood, and I just felt terrible for him the entire time. Not only did his wife apparently lie and say that someone else could be the father of his child, but throughout the whole film, he just gets crapped on the entire time. Like all of this bad luck happens to him for no good reason. Also, speaking of having it rough throughout the production, during the concert scene near the end of the film, they had to do that sequence over 3 days, so the same songs had to be played over and over and over again throughout those days. But apparently, Robin Williams would go over during breaks and entertain the extras. You may not have known this, but Dale's San Francisco apartment is the same one used in the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. Billy Crystal, Robin Williams, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who all appeared in this film, also appeared in Woody Allen's film Deconstructing Harry the same year that this came out. Warner Brothers at the time decided to do a bit of a cross promotion with the television series Friends, as they would have Williams and Crystal make a guest appearance on the episode, the one with the Ultimate Fighting Champion. Now, they are not actually playing the same characters, they're just showing up in the show, and apparently their entire scene was improvised. This movie was filmed in California and Nevada. So when it comes to the film Father's Day, it makes me sad to say this, but I really did not like this movie. I love both Robin Williams and Billy Crystal, and even though they do well together, the movie itself just isn't that great. I'm not a big fan of the plot, I didn't really find it all that interesting, and aside from those two, I wasn't really a big fan of any of the other characters. So I think I'm gonna have to give this one a 2 out of 5. If you did enjoy this movie, other movies I recommend checking out are Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, My Father the Hero, Big Daddy, and The Birdcage. And now it's time for the trivia question from the beginning of this episode. Jack Lawrence hates one particular profession. Which one is it? So apparently, Jack Lawrence cannot stand and is willing to cause physical harm to mimes. Which, of course, is funny, being the fact that both Billy Crystal and Robin Williams have played mimes. Crystal did so in the movie This Is Spinal Tap, and Williams did it in the movie Shakes the Clown. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews, and if there's a movie you'd like to see get a review, make sure to mention it in the comments.